everybody, to another isolation edition of the CGA podcast. I'm your host, Sam Hall. Back with me again, as always, Mick Danes.
Bruce.
And we've got head coach, 10th Planet London, Jamie Scott. How are you, Jamie?
I'm doing good today, mate. I just want to let you know I'm not in a pub at the moment. I'm in my bedroom. My wife picked this wallpaper. You know what I mean? Just let you know, I'm not in my local pub. I'm not breaking any rules.
Was it to simulate a pub since lockdown?
Maybe. You know, give me that home feeling.
That's it. How have you been since lockdown, mate? What's been going on?
You know what? When we went into lockdown, first of all, I thought we was only going to be here for a couple of weeks. I kept on telling everyone, it's only been a couple of weeks. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know, and to be honest, probably the first month was a bit tough. Do you know what I mean? Because just being totally removed from an environment, because I'm a full-time coach.
Yeah. So
going from teaching every day, like twice a day, you know, training myself all the time, just to be completely removed from it. And obviously I live with my wife and my two daughters, so I don't really have anyone to train with or drill with or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was quite tough, you know, and it was, it was really tough. I think a lot of my students have been struggling as well. They're phoning me up all the time, and I think they're realising it's one of them things where, you know, sometimes you don't appreciate things until they've gone.
That's
right.
right.
And they're realising, you know, how important the training was and how important the team was. And, some of them are struggling quite bad. But
I completely understand that, though. I'm exactly the same. In fact, kind of the opposite, though. Like, when the lockdown first happened, I was like welcoming the break. I was like, this is nice. It's nice to spend a bit of quality time at home. And then, you know, like a month later, and I'm like, when are we? And
an hour later.
Certainty.
Well, it's like, at my age, I'm like, I could have a couple of weeks off, get rid of some injuries and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But man, now it's like, I want them injuries back. Give me the injuries. I'll take the injuries all day long.
That's it. You can get comfortable, can't you? I think that's the struggle with some people when they have a bit of time off with injury or something. All the little niggly pains and aches go away, and then you're like, oh, now I've got to go back to get all those achy joints and those achy limbs back again all the time. I don't know if I can handle that.
Yeah, to be honest, mate, I've got like disabilities now. They just don't heal back up. Do you know what I mean? At my age, they just don't go anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you just got to keep soldiering through.
Yeah, you have. Otherwise, you'll never do anything, would you? If you're just.
It's a tough one. Yeah. But we've been doing our online classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
It's nice to talk about jiu-jitsu sometimes, you know, when I'm doing my online classes, and I've been doing a couple of PTs as well.
Yeah.
Usually when I do my PTs, they could be for like half hour. Someone just wants to ask me a couple of questions, and I'm on there for like 2 hours. I'll go, Jamie, dinner. I'm like, no, let me show you this. There's more. I've got to show you more. There's loads more. Let me just show you everything.
You go on a roll, don't you? You start off and it starts coming out, and then you do more and more, and you can just keep going.
Yeah, I usually show them what they want, and I just go in completely different directions. Yeah, let me show you this. I've been studying. I've been working on this. Let me show you. No, I've got to go, Jamie. I've got to go. I'm like, just talk to me, please. Just talk to me.
Don't go.
Stay with us. But the online classes have been good.
Good.
We do like a 6 o'clock community class.
Nice.
So that's free for everyone.
Wow.
Tonight it'll be like a solo drill and a movement class.
Yeah.
I'll put it, it's more like a workout, so I really push the pace on it. You know what I mean? So everyone gets a good workout on it, and then after that, what we do, we beam off to Lithuania, where I've got one of my students. He's gone back home, he's a Wim Hof instructor.
Oh, amazing.
I do my class, I smash everyone, I get everyone, I'm all pumped up, screaming at everyone, and then we zoom over to him, and then he just relaxes everyone with the breathing techniques and stuff like that. Basically, just puts everyone to sleep. You know what I mean?
That's a really good way of doing classes, I think, because you need to start stimulating the parasympathetic, don't you? You need to start getting them to relax, because this is something I've been quite interested in, recovery, especially from jiu-jitsu, like from a jiu-jitsu point of view. We used to do our classes when I first started, like 10 years ago. We were doing our classes like 7:30 till 9:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
And then I'd go home, I'd eat, And then I'd find myself just staring at the TV with my eyes open, not actually watching anything, just there like that, like going through my head what had happened during the class, unable to switch off. And then like in the evenings, I'd wake up in the middle of the night in like a sweat, like, whoa, like where my body just can't relax and calm down because obviously the sparring's hard at the end of the class.
Yeah.
Just not been able to switch off and start that recovery process. So it's something I've really been interested in. Is it the same for you? Is that why you kind of thought, get your guy from Lithuania to chill everybody out so they can start recovering a bit sooner?
Yeah, you know, it was it's a good match between the two, and it is exactly what you say. You know, when you know I'm driving home from the gym after a long day, sometimes I'm in the gym for like 12 hours.
Yeah,
and it's just so hard to switch off. Like, you know, where I've got the family, so when I come home, as soon as I walk through the door, I have to switch off. You know, obviously become a father, and you know what I mean, spend the time with my kids and stuff like that. But as soon as they go to sleep, I'm like that. I'm in bed like that. My mind's just going over and over, or I'm studying everything, you know, what we're going to be drilling next month and things like that. So yeah, it takes a long time to be able to withdraw yourself from it. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes, especially like we do open mats on Saturdays, and we do like a free open mat.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Do you know what I read about this? This is absolutely, I think this is amazing. That's proper open mat, isn't it? Where literally anyone around any area can just come along and jump in.
Yeah,
That's right, isn't it?
it's done. We have quite a big mat space, and the gym gets packed out. You know, you get so many good high level people they pass through. We do 2 hours. We do 9-minute rounds with a minute rest. So you get some really good solid rolls in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny because how we started that, first of all, was when I first opened up 10th Planet, which I've been running 10th Planet London now for about 6 years.
Yeah.
And then when we first started opening, there was obviously 10th Planet used to get a lot of stick and a lot of grief and just, you know, things like that. So there was a lot of haters, you know, would talk crap on 10th Planet and stuff like that. Yeah. So when I first started the 10th Planet, it was we opened. I said to all the students, I said, right, this is what I'm going to do. There's a lot of people that are trying to give us grief, right? So I'm going to start an open mat. Okay, well, it's going to be free for everyone. So if anyone's got any problems, then we can go, well, come down to the open mat. We're going to be here. We're going to get ready to spar with anyone who walks through the door. Yeah. And I remember the first time we done the open mat, was all week I'm going, right, we're going to do the open mat. All these haters are going to come down. Get yourselves ready. We was all in the gym already. We're like, yeah, they're going to come through the door. As soon as the door opened up, everyone come through all nice, happy. Oh, yeah, we're just here for training. And it just become this amazing, friendly thing where we was just training with all the other gyms and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. You'll find the haters will stay away. They've got to talk, but they won't come down.
It's easy for anyone to say anything online.
It was all online stuff, you know, and I never took it personal, you know, anything like that. But at the beginning, it did get a lot of stick. But
why is that? Do you think it's just because of the system that Eddie put in place, like the names of the certain positions and stuff like that?
Yeah, Eddie likes.
I understand it. I get it. I get why he's done it. He's created a system, hasn't he? Basically.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, at the beginning, because it was different, that's all.
Right.
You know, and usually when things are a bit different, they're easy to point the finger at, you know what I mean, and people to attack. So, you know, even the coach that I was training with at the time, before I opened 10th Planet and stuff like that, he hated it. You know, he's like, oh, this is not jiu-jitsu. What are you doing? And I'd submit everyone in the class with it, playing rubber guard, you know, or sweeping people with my lockdown and stuff like that. And he'd be like, this ain't jiu-jitsu. What are you doing? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm submitting people. Do you know what I mean? But he's like, because people didn't know the system, they didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it was easy to catch people. The first things I used to do was I'd go mission control, clear the neck, and I'd go platter everyone. That's it. That's all I'd done. People just didn't like the foot coming across there. But I used to get a lot of stick from it with the coaches. But you know, that was because they didn't understand it. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't understand it. I really couldn't understand it. I was like, what? You know? They're like, no, that's Eddie Bravo stuff. That's 10th Planet. That's not jiu-jitsu, stuff like that.
I think it was like the first like other things that came into like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, now you get like Keenan's worm guard and other people doing different types of guard, and then, you know, like bringing other stuff into what traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as such.
Yeah.
You know, other people like innovating things. Do you know what I mean? And that was like, so then people are like, that's not what I know.
Yeah.
So they are immediately skeptical of things. But now, you know, everyone at a high level in Nogi, pretty much everyone, if they're not using some form or something from like Eddie Bravo and 10th Planet, then they're working how to defend it, right? You've got to know what to do to...
Yeah, 100%. You know, I mean, it's like the lockdown. I mean, you know, I love the lockdown. And I used to, it's one of my A games, a lockdown. When I've got big people trying to smash me, I'm going to go lockdown, I'm going to get a sweep. See, I use it all the time to get on top. And, you know, it's one of the, even with my students, when I'm rolling and they get me in lockdown, I'm like, oh, no, I've been taking steps back, and man, it's so hard to get out of the lockdown. I'm like, oh man, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass through, and bang, they get me in the lockdown. I'm like, damn, I've got to work hard to get through. But I think it was maybe a lot of coaches, they didn't understand it, and you'll find with a lot of coaches when they don't understand something. I mean, if any of my students, they ask me something, and sometimes I haven't got the answer. You know, as I think you coach yourselves, I don't know every single thing. Do you know what I mean? If they ask me something, and I'll be like, you know what, I don't want to give you any wrong answer. Okay, I'm never going to try and pretend I know the answer in case I give the wrong answer. So you know, you've got to be sensible and say, you know what, I'm not sure, but next time you come in, I'm going to know every single detail on what you're asking me. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of it was that, you know, that maybe they didn't know the answers. They you know, so they was like, oh no, it's rubbish, don't do it.
They want us to be that authority figure, like
100%,
knowing everything because they're the coach.
100%.
You can't know everything, can you? It's really funny to say that, because we were speaking to Greg Creel the other day, and he said exactly the same thing, like a really good coach himself from Wales. And he was like, you can't know everything. And just, I think that's kind of the sign of a really good coach. You can't know everything, but being honest goes a long way. And then doing your research. So going away and figuring out.
That's part of being open as well, isn't it? Open and like, you know, like being available for new things and new concepts and new whatever. If you're not able to do both those things, then you're not going to get better, like in yourself. And like if you're not, then how are your students going to get better?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I mean, you know, with jiu-jitsu evolves at such a fast rate. You know, for an instructor, man, you know, knowledge is everything from a coach, but man, you just can't know everything. Do you know what I mean? So Eddie always told me when you coach, never pretend that you know something, you know the answer to something that you don't. He went, because they will spot it, and people will spot, your students will spot it a mile off, and they think, that's all right. Do you know what I mean? Because you get some students, they'll ask you questions they might already know the answer to. They just give you advice, and you go, oh yeah, put your hands there, and they'll be like, what? No, that's wrong. And you walk away. You know what I mean? That's the wrong thing. How can I go back up to them now and go, oh yeah, I was wrong? So you just say, you know what, I'm going to look into that. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
That's
any famous words, I'm going to look into that.
Do you find like some of your students as well, like will go real super deep into a particular area of jiu-jitsu that you know might not be your favorite area or whatever, and you'll end up picking things up from what they do as well, and like.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, at 10th Planet London, we've got quite a big team now. We've got a big competition team, and they all have different games. Do you know what I mean? So even though we have our system, we have our 10th Planet system. It's funny because a lot of people just think that when they come down to the gym, all we do is we just play rubber guard all day and play lockdown. You know, and but you know we drill everything. So you know. Even the stuff that ain't my game, my job is I have to teach them everything. Do you know what I mean? So, and then they build their own path. So I'm never going to say to them, no, just stick to this way, this system, that's it. They build their own system. So sometimes, you know, some of them are, you know, they like to play a reverse De La Riva game. it's not really my game, but I will study. They make me study everything about it, so I can assist and help them and make them evolve them in that game. Do you know what I mean? As a coach, you have to study everything. Do you know what I mean?
And as a practitioner as well, right? Because if you don't know the reverse De La Riva, it might not be your game. But if they're playing reverse De La Riva, you've got to know how to defend it, or they're going to catch you with it every single time. So you've got to know something, at least from that area, even if it's just defense.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we do a lot of leg locks and stuff like that. We've always done leg locks.
Yeah.
And I teach a leg lock class on a Saturday and a Wednesday. And what I do is I teach my students everything about leg locks and leg lock defense, which is a massive part. Not a lot of places they teach leg lock defense. Yeah. And then when I roll with them, a lot of them, when they're trying to attack my legs, but my game is, I teach them all the leg locks, and then my game is to pressure pass them. So I don't play legs with them. My job is to do the opposite. Now I'm gonna put pressure passing on you, smash past your legs, so they realise, that this is what you're up against. You know what I mean? I'm never just gonna sit there playing legs with them. Sometimes I do, but I'll teach them leg lock positions, and then when I spar them, could be the same class. My job will be to pressure pass, smash past their legs, and make them realise, oh, there's another part of this game. You can't just sit there playing leg locks and stuff like that.
You can't expect everyone to just sit back and start playing with the legs. Not everyone's going to do that.
No, it's crazy. You'll find a lot of students, they just focus on, they just love leg locks. They want to sit down and play legs all the time.
It's a thing.
It's crazy. See, you got to show them there's this other, people can pass your legs. There's good old school pressure passing that can get past your legs, and then you got what you're gonna do. You got to work from now. Eddie's always preached to us. You'd think Eddie would be the one to tell us all the time, teach rubber guard, teach lockdown. Eddie don't. Eddie's always, you've got to work on your passing, you've got to work on your wrestling. Do you know what I mean? All good guard players. Now you've got to work, you've got to evolve from it. Do you know what I mean? So Eddie preaches all to us all the time, to all the instructors. Well, you've got to work on your passing, your standing passing drills, your wrestling. We've been doing starting to do loads of wrestling now at Team Planet London and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So
brilliant.
Yeah, man, you always got to evolve your game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of round it out, kind of round that curve out. If you're really good in one area, that's great, but try and smooth that, even that curve out a little bit and make it a bit more rounded.
We'll have people turn up at the gym and they could be there a month. They sign up and they'll be like, "We ain't done no rubber guard for the month. What's going on?" Like, we're passing. There's something else. We don't just play rubber guard, we pass as well, you know what I mean? We do wrestling.
Do you get a lot of people from other gyms sort of come try it out on like the open mat and then be like, do you know what, maybe I want to, do you have students that train like with you and elsewhere as well, or is it kind of they'll come over on open mat and maybe like switch academies, or how do you like? So I imagine that might happen a lot. If people have got one perception, then they come down, they're like, oh, this just fits in with how I want to train and what I want to do.
Yeah. Yes, some people, they come down and then they might leave their club. We don't ask them, so don't get me wrong. We don't ask them. But, they see the way we train and, they might come down, they might join up. A lot of people, they're loyal to their club, but they might come down and cross-train during the weekdays, or they'll come down to the open mat. There's never, people can come and cross train. There's never, we're not going to show you our system, or we're going to not show you what we do. We've always been open, and we love showing everyone everything. Do you know what I mean? And some of our students, they go and they cross train at other gyms and stuff like that. That's all fine. If another gym's doing something really good, I want to know what they're doing. So if my boys come down, and I'll ask them, I'll say, what they've been drilling down there, show us. And they might go, oh, they was doing this pass. That I want to know it, you know what I mean? And if it's good, if we ain't drilling it, and it's effective, works on a high level, then I'm going to add that into the game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And you've got to be open like that. You've got to be able to, Eddie said it a little while ago, he's like, even if our enemies are doing something really good, not that we have any enemies.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
Our enemies are doing something really good in competition, we're going to nick it and we're going to start doing it. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to be open.
That's like Greg was saying the other day, like he said, I'll beg, borrow and steal everything. Like
100%. If someone comes down to the open mat and they smash me with something, I'm like, well, yeah, no, I'm going to watch him, I'm going to study it, I want to know what he does, and I'm going to teach it to everyone.
You've got to have that open mindset. It's funny because when I started training about 10 years ago, it was very much kind of your team, and you kind of stick to that, to your team. If you're going to cross train, you train with the gyms within your kind of branch.
Yeah.
And over the years, it's become kind of like more open and more open and more open. And now it's kind of, it's just like you said, because otherwise I think if you have that closed mindset and you're just training within your team, you never learn anything new, and you get behind. So it's worth spreading out and learning new things from other people.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when we first, I think it was about a year or so into the open mats, a couple of years into the open mat, we had, Ross Nichols come down. He started training with us.
Yeah.
I think it was just because he wasn't in Ross has always been good. Mm-hmm. And, he was good at the basic straight ankle locks and stuff like that. But he wasn't I think at the time in his gym, he wasn't in that environment where people was heel hooking each other and stuff like that. So he come down to the open mat to put himself in that environment.
Yeah.
And, Ross is a good high level black belt. So you can just explain concepts to him. You explain details and concepts to him and he'll see it everywhere. So it ain't like he come down and was doing classes. Yeah. But, he come down and wanted some help to develop this heel hook game because that's how everything was going. That's how the movement was going.
Yeah.
So he done such a good fair play to Ross, Yeah. He's a good high level black belt. He didn't have to come down to us, but he come down and he wanted to evolve. And at the time, I think I was a brown belt. He's rolling with all my purple belts and stuff like that. So he developed really, really quick. And when he was competing, like a couple of times when he competed at Polaris, he would shout us out. He'd go, "Oh, thanks to 10 Planet London for helping me out." I think when he fought Oliver Tazza, first one up there. So that was really nice. You know what I mean? But I think when he first come down, he was getting really good at leg locks. And he's one of my coaches who helps me out down there, Sean Harper. He's recently just got his brown belt. Ross was on Tough Kumite. That was it. Oliver Tazza was on there. There were some really good names on there. Yeah. And my student, Sean, he got in there as well. And so Ross was training with us. It was like, people would think it would be a bit awkward, but Ross would come down to the open mat. Ross would be at this side of the gym, and Sean would be on this side of the gym. So we was like, we don't care. You know what I mean? It's all good. That was good. I think they had a draw in there. They competed against each other. They had a draw. Oh, no. But it was good, man. Yeah, and Ross just went off with the legs. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's good. We get so many good high level people. They pass down.
Yeah.
Quite a few guys have been up to seminars at your place. I think when you've had people down, like there's quite a few of our guys that go from our gym up to you for that, and always there's always the group of people that are super into kind of that sort of stuff, and especially the legs and heel hooks and the no-gi side of things. The gaggle of them in the corner that are just drilling, and then they'll be like, "Oh, who can go? We want to go back up to 10th Planet for Saturday. And they're all planning it. Oh, can we go up on this Saturday?" So they are. I know. Well, certainly from down here, I'm sure it's the same everywhere. There's lots of people that are going back and practicing the things that they learn and trying to just extract as much knowledge as they can, while they're there, to come back and try and implement. And it's good for everyone in every other gym because these guys start hitting this stuff on much higher grades. Yeah. And they're and then you think, well, they're not going to stop doing it until you defend it, or
Yeah, I think it's we have some really good seminars, man. We have I'll try and get over. We do a lot of 10th Planet people. They come over. Do seminars. It's good. At the end of the seminars, we usually do a little sparring session. A lot of people leave, but we're all we want to spar with everyone. We just love sparring with people from other gyms and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's really done friendly. And usually a way that I approach the open mat to my students is because what I sort of explain to them. A lot of them compete. And as you know, and I used to have competed as well. And, you have the competition nerves and stuff like that. And it's sometimes really, really hard to deal with. Yeah. So with the open mat, a lot of my top boys, I tell them to say, listen, you've got to treat the open mat as a competition. I don't mean go and try and kill everyone, But just mentally, when you wake up in the morning, it's you're in the competition mindset. You're putting your bag up. You're going to the gym. You're sitting on the train. You know what I mean? You're going over. You know what I mean? All them nerves. If you're just treating it exactly the same as you would go to a competition, go to the gym, get changed, walk onto that open mat, look about, find someone roughly your size who looks really good. I say, don't just pick, I'll go with that geezer sitting over the corner, might have been training 6 months. Look in the gym and see the best person you can see, and then bang, that's who you're going to roll with next. Yeah. And that could be your first match. And try and get the mindset like that. Using the open mat as this is competition day. You know what I mean? So there's different people there. We're not rolling with the same people. There's going to be different people there. So you'll go there, get into that mindset. You have I have butterflies when I go to the open mat.
Yeah.
You don't know who's walking through
who's
the door.
coming in. Yeah.
You don't know who's coming in, and whoever comes through the door, I've got to roll with them. You know what I mean? That's always been the rule. You know.
Yeah.
So sometimes you might feel a bit tired, you're a bit off. You're like, oh, and it's always that day. The biggest geezer will walk through the door, and I'll be like, oh, God. Here we go.
With just says leg locker on his rash guard.
Yeah. Sometimes I wear my blue belt rash guard. I see him. I've got my brother. My brother. He's a couple of years older than me, and me and him look exactly the same. So sometimes they think it's me. And I'm like, no, go on, Dave. Yeah, you know, warm him up, and then tell him you're not me, and then I'll go next.
Warm him up. That's a really interesting idea as well, because you're right. Like we've been discussing like competing a lot recently, and Sam and I have competed a long time ago and haven't done for a long time. With I suffer a lot with anxiety and nerves with competitions. But I was just like, I don't know if I'm really enjoying this, And then now I think I'm trying to turn it around to being change my mindset around it, and how it will develop me in jiu-jitsu, as well as like my experience and confidence with doing it. And like that's like a really cool way of getting used to it, because lots of people I speak to about it are like, do you know what, like everyone feels anxious and nervous about it. The more you do something, the easier it gets, and you understand the environment and things, it gets easier. I think I found it back a long time ago, 2008-9, like there's maybe 8 competitions in a year, so you spend a long time in between, and if you do 2 or 3 or something, there's a lot of time after you finish them, you're like, that was amazing, I loved it. And then you slowly lose that feeling, and then you start to get nervous about the next one.
Yeah. It's
so
fun.
You can't be nervous, right? You're just going to get used to it, and different people, rolling with people that you don't know their game, so you need to get in and try and impose what you want to do. Just the whole way that you go into like a competition attitude. So it must really help the guys you've got competing.
Yeah, it's the nerves they're always there, being the anxiety, the nervousness, it's you're overthinking everything, and that's the main thing, because you start overthinking everything. Do you know what I mean? The audience is there, you start thinking about the audience, man. So I'll get flying armbarred in 5 seconds. So these things they never go away. So it's about trying to accept them. But it's one of the main things is about the environment. Okay, that's where a lot of the nerves come from. You're driving to a new venue.
Yes, the unknown, right?
Yeah, it's the unknown. So everyone's watching you and things like that. So whenever a lot of my boys are competing, when I'm in the back with them, everything's about the open mat. This is exactly the same as open mat. There's no difference. You're walking into the gym and you're sparring with someone that you've never sparred with before. You're going to go and roll with someone you've never rolled before. It's full submission, but the only difference is now, if you grab something, now you're going to try and break it. Do you know what I mean? And that can be, because you're always in the gym, like drilling. If you're doing heel hooks, you get to a certain point, you're not bridging into the side of the knee, things like that. So that's an awkward adjustment. Like, oh yeah, now you bridge in to get a break, because you have to get the tap. Don't just stop like this, what I mean? And wait for them to go, because they're not, a lot of people don't do it. Oh. Great. You know what I mean? What's he done? He's done something.
The Brazilian tap.
Yeah, exactly. Or they go, oh, and you let go, and they go, no. It's over. It's over, mate. It's over. And even with MMA, because obviously Diesel Gym, 10 Planet London, we're based in Diesel Gym, MMA gym. And, training MMA fighters, And then when they step in to have a pro fight, going, oh, now you can use elbows. But elbows are so hard to drill in training, like sparring in the gym. You don't start elbowing people and stuff like that. You know, I'm not going to, I'm going, yeah, put a head guard on an elbow. Like, no, you ain't elbowing me. You're crazy. You can do the elbows in the pads, and you'll get a lot of fighters when it's taken to the ground or they're in the guard, in full guard, and then you're screwing them. Elbows, they're like, oh, yeah, I can do elbows. When they start elbowing. You know what I mean? So it's getting that as well where, oh, yeah, now I'm going to go for a break. I'm going to try and, really try and break an arm or break a leg. Yeah. So it's getting that mentality as well. And, but yeah, this, I mean, with the open mats, I talk to all the high-level people come down. I always talk to them and I ask them about this. Yeah. And they all feel exactly the same. Mm-hmm. They all feel exactly the same. I've spoke to people before and they're like, I'm driving to the competition and man, I'm hoping the car break down. Do you know what I mean? So I can get out of it. Yeah. And, it's one of them things as well where you'll agree to a competition and I do the same. Whenever they phone me up, they go, I just don't think. They go, James, you want to fight me? And I go, yeah, all right. And then a week later, I think, oh man, I'm getting old. I think, why did I do this to myself? Jesus, why did I do this to myself? But I just try and ignore it all the way through until I'm stepping out on the, you know what I mean? So you're stepping out on the mat, you're like, well, I'm here now. Yeah. Let's do it. You know what I mean?
I often, when you get to a comp and then you think, do you know what? If someone said now you can go on and fight on that mat, you go, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. 100%. So yeah, if I can go and corner people, I'll be in a competition. If someone walked up to me there and then and went, do you want to fight him? I'd go, yeah, come on, let's go. There's no build up, there's no anxiety, there's no thinking about it, there's no nothing. You know what I mean? So it's playing on that mindset. And that's what I like to do. I like to tell my students, right, open mat, you pack your bag exactly the same as you would do to a competition. Try and imitate everything as much as you can to walking into a competition. You walk into the gym, you look about, you find someone you've never rolled before. And I'll tell all my students that. We at open mats, we don't roll with each other. We roll with everyone else.
You've got all the time to do that, haven't you? You've got all your classes to do that. You might as well pick the people that, you've never rolled with, but get a different look from somewhere else. Yeah.
And it's good. It's all friendly, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I love the open mat. I love it. I'll always keep it free. You know what I mean? It's, it encourages people to come down. We used to do 3 hours. We used to do 3 hours and 9-minute rounds, a minute rest. And I had to drop it to 2 hours.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'd have to have a week off after that.
Yeah. Well, it stopped, hour and a half late.
Yeah. That's what would happen. We'd be there for the 3 hours and you'd get waves of people coming in. So you get people that do an hour, then they'd leave, and then you get a new wave of people and you're sitting there, you're like, oh, God. And then comes the last hour and you're like, oh, God. The last hour, you're just working on defence and things like that. You're just surviving sometime. And I always encourage my students, don't sit out. Just keep going all the time. Even if you've got nothing left in the tank, now let's go and work on defence and recovery. Do you know what I mean? Because they're just as important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that way in open mat. Like last time I went to train in Poland, and we're training at Rio Grappling over there. And we went to their open mat on a Saturday, and it's the same as yours on a lot more low key level. Is that there was lots of people from lots of different gyms. They'd go to Rio Grappling on a Saturday because it was open mat. They gym didn't train on a Saturday, whatever, so they'd all turn up. So it was like that. People there was obviously lots of other people. We're from England, didn't speak Polish. We kind of waiting on the side to see what happens. And then there's quite a few black belts, brown belts, and all sorts of guys there. And then someone will be like, like this kind of thing. And then the guy comes in, sticks on the timer. It's 8-minute rounds, 30 seconds rest, and that was that for 2 hours. I was like, oh, right, that's what we're doing then. What it's going to be like. And then you sort of thinking, I hope someone, and then the brand new white belt on him like that. Yeah, want to roll, and then you're like, you're not a white belt. This is where it's coming from. He's been. Do you know what I mean? So you never know at those things as well. So it all goes to help with the mindset, like you say, of what it's gonna be like. You don't know who the other person is, what they can do, where they come from.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't touch hands and go, oh, how long have you been training for? And start asking it quick. You just touch hands, and you can sort of feel the level as you start off with. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, that's a really good thing, and that's what I like about Nogi as well. Is that you'll get some people turn up. And they've got a T-shirt on and a pair of old football shorts, and you'll be like, oh, he must not train too long, you know what I mean? And there'd be a black belt, and it's like, I'll just wear this, and people just think I'm a beginner, you know what I mean?
That sounds familiar. I just don't own any decent no-gi gear.
Then it'll be money on geese, you know what I mean? Well, I don't really do no gi, mate. This is what I wear: t-shirt and a pair of old football shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's always the way, though, isn't it? You always see some people will turn up with full-on spat shorts, things like that, and go, "I've just started first class."
Yeah. Yeah.
So give us a little bit of history about yourself. Like, what made you get started with 10th Planet, and where did you and how did you get the affiliation?
Well, I started, first of all, I got into MMA first of all. So the goal was, I wanted to have one MMA fight, and then that was it. I thought, you know what, it's something that I wanted to do, so I could tell the kids and stuff like that, and have a nice story to tell.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I was a site manager. I was a building site manager. And I used to do a little bit of boxing and stuff like that. I'd done stuff when I was younger and stuff like that. But we used to have sparring sessions on, we was working in East London on a building, and on the 12th floor, we used to have sparring sessions and break times. Because we used to get a lot of the Eastern European on the building sites and that, and they was all like, yeah, I was a professional boxer and all that. So I brought gloves in. I was like, oh, we go up, let's have a little sparring match. They was all like, yeah, all right. They thought I was crazy. We'd go up there and we'd have these light little sparring matches on the top. There was no windows in there or nothing. Wind's blowing through. We'd be up there. People would be filming it, and then we'd be having a little sparring match. And I said to my wife, I said, I can't keep doing this. You know what I mean? I ain't young. I thought, I can't keep doing this. So I said, I'm going to go and join an MMA club. I'm going to have, I'll have one fight, and then that's it. And so I found Diesel Gym. And but I walked in there when I was about 31, so I started really late. I didn't, you know. So yeah, I found Diesel Gym, and man, it was an amazing place. You know, it was like run down, had no windows. It was a proper spit and sawdust gym.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like that now.
No. We've moved now. We've moved since. Yeah, we was in Limehouse. We was there for I think the gym was there for about 12 years, 13 years. And we've just recently moved into a new location a couple of years ago. And so I went there, trained MMA for about a year and a half. And I got my first MMA fight. And it was there. I used to do jiu-jitsu just now and again. So when I was doing my MMA, I used to see him in the corner. They used to do the class in the cage. And I'd look and I'd think, what's all that going on over there? You know what I mean? It can't be like proper geezers have a tear up. What's all them laying on the floor?
Stand up.
And I'd go in there and I'd get killed, I'd get murdered by really little people, and I'd be like, my small people, I'm like, oh, bloody hell, I've got to start learning this. And it was the week coming up to my fight. And my first fight, I was the co-main event, and I was having a pro fight straight away. They just threw me in the deep end. I think there was a pull out. Someone pulled out and they phoned me up. I, like an idiot, like I always do, I just go, yeah, all right, yeah, I'll do it. And I think I had a week to the fight. And, so it was that week that I started studying. I started watching Eddie Bravo videos. Yeah. Of his first videos he come out. And because obviously the rubber guard and stuff like that was designed for MMA. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this could help me out. You know what I mean? It helped me out with my MMA. And, you know, when I was sparring and stuff, it was working. It was I found it so effective. And then when I had my fight, I was using it in my fight. And I'd only been studying it for a week. I was using the lockdown. I went, I fought Chad Brown, and it went a distance. So I had a 15-minute match on my first match. I was killed. Absolutely killed me. And I was using rubber guard in there. My coach is like, what are you doing? I've never spoke to him about it. And he's trying to punt it. I'm grabbing him. I'm throwing my legs up. I'm like, we've never seen this before. But it was saving me. It's helped me. And I won the match. I won the fight. It was after that, man, jiu-jitsu just got a hold of me. It just, man, I was like, man. And so I started doing the jiu-jitsu a lot more. Mm-hmm. But during the classes, it was, you know, the coach, like I was saying before, was giving me, like, what's all this? This ain't jiu-jitsu, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that really freaked me out, you know what I mean? So I was submitting everyone with it, with the system. And
was that just from studying Like online, was it?
Yeah,
Or
that was just studying from he had a rubber guard video that come
yeah.
out. So I was just studying that first of all.
Right. Wow. That's awesome.
And it was, yeah, man, I just built up the system from that. And yeah, I was finding it really effective in the gym. We had some really good level, some high level people in the gym, and I was catching them with this stuff just because they didn't understand, they didn't know the system. They're like, what are you doing? So I started showing everyone what was going on, and it just built up from there. And the coaches we had there, eventually they left, and yeah, I think I was a couple of years in, I was a blue belt, and then I took over then.
Yeah.
It was we had a little clash there. I'm not going to say any names who it was or anything like that, but we had little clashes there because when I went to Diesel Gym, that's it. My loyalty will always stay wherever team I go to. That's it. I stay with that team. Yeah. So I went to Diesel Gym, and I've never been anywhere since. Diesel's my home, my family. So I didn't know that there was teams in jiu-jitsu. Oh, yeah. We was Diesel Gym Jiu-Jitsu, that's it. And then I started, people was going to me, oh no, we're such and such team. And I was like, oh, we've got a team. It's a team in a team. I was like, that's amazing. I love it. I'm going to be loyal to my team. And then I think it was a couple of months, they changed the team.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand that. I was like, they were, oh, we're this team now. I was like, well, what do you mean you've changed teams? Oh, yeah. So I asked the coach, I said, why have we changed teams? And he was like, oh, because it benefits us better to be with this team. And being my age and, how I grew up, you was loyal to your team. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was about 8 months later, they changed the team again. And I was like, what? I was like, I can't handle this. I can't take it. Yeah. So that's when I really was getting deep into the 10th Planet, studying all the time. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? That's going to be my team. 10th Planet's going to be my team. Yeah. Okay. If they can't pick a team and keep the team, and I know a lot of people do it, and I understand why they do it. Back then, I didn't really understand a lot of the politics and stuff like that. Yeah. So I thought, I'm going to pick my team, and that's it. I'm going to stay loyal to that team. And that's what I did. And then they left the gym, and then I took over. And at the time, then I was talking to Eddie. Just talking online to Eddie and stuff like that. And Eddie had come down because I used to go down to 10th Planet Birmingham.
Right. How does that go then? Did you just message him online and be like, hey mate, like DVDs?
I'd be like, yeah. Eddie's got his website, he's got his forum there. So I put little messages in there, ask questions that Eddie would respond. But Eddie come down to 10th Planet Birmingham when I met Eddie first time. He'd done a seminar down there. And I was talking to Eddie, I was going, listen, when's there going to be a 10th Planet London? He was like, oh yeah, a couple of people have spoke to me about it and stuff like that. Yeah. But there's nothing going to happen. And then I thought, you know what, I've got to make this happen. You know what I mean? I want to train in the 10th Planet squad. I want to keep driving to Birmingham all the time and stuff like that. So, I want to be 10th Planet London. And I emailed him. And sort of said, yeah, mate, I'll meet you at the seminar, blah, blah. I want to run 10th Planet London. Yeah. And I'll just give him a little brief of stuff I've done and stuff like that. And I was still blue belt at the time. And Eddie messaged me back. I was on a train. I was going to a building site. Eddie messaged me back and he was like, oh, look, I really appreciate, you want to take 10th Planet London is going to be a big school because there's so many schools in London. He went, but I think you're a bit too green for it and, blah, 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 blah. And basically just blew me out, right? Knocked me off. I was going to work and I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
In there, and my head was down on the train. I was on the DLR. I was like, thinking, that's it. I'll just keep going to Birmingham. But like the person I am, I don't quit. I'll never give up. And it was about 2-3 weeks later, I emailed him again. And I was like, I was basically like, Eddie, I don't think you realise that this is my goal. This is my dream. I want to make this happen. Yeah. And so then he started just asking me little questions, mad ones like, how much do you weigh? And just things like this. Ask me, and this went on for probably for over a year. Eddie would just keep giving me something and then taking it away from me. You know what I mean? I think he was testing me out. He'd be like, oh, yeah, you sure you're ready to take it on, like to open up 10th Planet? And he'd be asking me questions. I had to send him videos all the time and stuff like that. And he'd be like, oh, you got to train with Mick. Go to Birmingham, you got to train with Mick. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously Mick was affiliated.
Yeah.
So I'd go down and train with Mick Broster. And then, man, it just went on for over a year. And then I think it was the week he was coming up to, he was fighting Royler.
Yeah.
The second match, obviously. And then he was like, I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you run 10 Planet London. And I was shopping with my wife at the time in London. I was like, yeah. And man, it just started from now. Then the affiliation, the affiliation then was I had to send Eddie a video.
Yeah.
Eddie was like, oh, I want you to send me a video. He knows I've been training with Mick. Mick's certified me and going, yeah, he knows the system. He knows what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's confident enough and to run the school. And Eddie's like, oh, you got to send me a video, a 15-minute video, non-stop, flowing through every single 10th Planet move that you know, naming every single position, and it's just got to flow. Now you think, oh, the 15 minutes ain't long. But Eddie names you put your hand here, it's a different name. You put your hand, it's a different name. So I I studied so much. It was just fluent for me. So I just, was going through all the lockdown, the truck, the rubber guard, going through everything, the system, send it to him, and he's like, that's perfect. You know what I mean, babe? So I got the affiliation then, and man, that's just over 6 years ago. So
nice, man.
Just over 6 years. It was crazy. But to think that I could have been on that train after he knocked on that email, I could have just gone, oh, you know what, I'll go to work, might go and buy myself a couple of gis. I'll just keep training or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or find a more local affiliate to train under. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You could have easily just gone, I'll just be a Gracie Barra or a Carson Gracie.
Yeah, exactly. And I was so loyal to the team, just through the way I've been brought up. My loyalties, whatever team I'm in, I'm going to commit 100%.
Yeah.
So, I could have just walked away from it, but I was like, nah, I don't think Eddie realises, that, it's a passion and it's going to be a dream, and I want to try and build one of the biggest teams in the UK, you know what I mean? Because as a coach, why would I not want that? Why would any coach not want that for their team? Do you know?
Yeah,
when I tell people that, I go, we're going to be one of the biggest teams in the UK. They go, oh, you're crazy. I'm going, no, this is what a coach should be like. That's what a coach want. You know what I mean? They should want to be one of the biggest teams. Do you know what I mean? So, man. And then Eddie come over. After that. He done like a seminar at our place, and then Eddie awarded me my purple belt.
Nice.
And then, and obviously then I got my brown belt from Eddie. But that was funny. The first time Eddie come over, he got arrested, didn't he? He got arrested.
I don't know this story. Tell me.
You know that?
No.
I've got loads of stories. I could go on for hours.
As long as you don't mind them being online, spill the beans. Let's go.
No, it's fine. It was online anyway. The first seminar we done with Eddie, man, it was massive. Eddie was going to do a tour of the UK schools, the UK moons, and we was the first one. He was flying into Gatwick, I think it was. Me and my brother, we was picking him up. Man, I'd sold probably 150 people coming to the seminar, and I had to put a cap on. I was like, no, I cannot get any more people in the gym. There was people flying all over from Europe to come to the seminar. So Eddie was flying in on the Friday, and the seminar was on a Saturday. Let me just have a drop of water.
That's all right.
And the seminar was on the Saturday. Me and my brother was driving down to the airport, and we're so happy. Eddie's coming here. We're driving down. We're all singing songs and stuff, old football songs. Out the window. We're like that. We're like those hooligans in the car. And we got to the airport. We're waiting around ready. Eddie's not turning up. Right? I know he's landed because he's messaged me. But he's not coming out. A couple of hours have gone by. We've had a phone call from customs. Right? He ain't got nothing bad on him or nothing like that. But we've had a phone call from the customs. They're like, are you here to pick up Eddie Bravo? And yeah. He was like, oh, well, we've got some problems with his visa. Okay. Because we know he's here to do seminars because he told us, but he hasn't got the correct visa. And was like, oh, look. So we're begging them. We're begging them, going, listen, please. We've got women, kids, we've got family. They're all coming to see him. Anyway, we nearly got him out, but there was one strict we were talking to one officer, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what?" And we were sort of swaying him a little bit. And to be honest, it was more my brother. I was getting angry. My brother was taking the phone. We were talking about, and there was just one customer. He was a proper jobs work, and you could hear him in the back going, "No, no, no, he ain't getting let out." So anyway, we was at the airport for like 8 hours trying to get him out, and yeah, they said, "Well, we're going to detain him, and then we're going to send him back home on the next flight."
So I take it, I presume he said he was coming on a holiday, but because he said he must have got to the customs and gone, "Yeah, I'm doing seminars," and then they're like,
yeah, you know, mate, you know what people do with seminars. I don't want to go too deep in that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were at the airport for 8 hours. So then on the way home, it was a totally different story. Me and my brother was quiet, like the whole journey. Now we ain't singing, we ain't saying that. We're like just quiet all the way, because I got 150 people turning up the next morning, flying in from Europe. Do you know what I mean? I could have cried. And anyway, the next day, people, I think I put a little message up about it, but the next day, people was turning up. They don't know what's going on. People turn up from Germany, and they're walking in. I'm just sitting at the desk. I'm like, "No, he's not here. Eddie's not here. He's not coming." And they're like, "What?" They think I'm joking around. God, he's not coming. And then, so anyway, we just done a big open mat. I said, "Yeah, we'll do a worldwide open mat. Let's go." You know what I mean? So we done the open mat. Everyone was pretty okay about it, to be honest. And then he went home, sorted it out, and then he come back. He come back a couple of weeks later. So yeah, all got sorted out in the end, and then he come over. Do you know what I mean? So we got there in the end. Eddie come over.
All you need is a customs guy that trains jiu-jitsu, either been straight through.
We that would have been lucky. That would have been lucky. But yeah, after that we had there's a gentleman, Brandon McCavern. He runs 10 Planet Decatur. Mm-hmm. He done a song about Eddie. It's online. It's on YouTube called Eddie in Prison. Something like that. It was called. And in these lyrics of this song, it's a funny song. It's really good. In the lyrics of this song, he's like, "Oh, we blame Jamie Scott for this." So he's blamed me. And then I was getting all these messages of people going, "What did you do to Eddie? It's your fault." And I'm like, "What?" And then I see the song, and he's going, "We blame Jamie Scott for this ordeal." And I'm like, "What?" But there's people was sending me emails, "Your fault, it's your fault Eddie got arrested." And I'm like, yeah, he done me up, mate. He done me up. Brandon done me up.
That's brilliant. One of the things I wanted to ask, and I find this fascinating because I follow people from 10th Planet, is they're kind of the way it's systemized. He's kind of systemized the game. Like, I don't really know much about it, which is why I kind of want to ask you. But like, I see they've got like certain names, or it'd be like something A, and then they'll do a drill sequence of that kind of sequence, like bum bum bum, and then he's named that, and then that's kind of like a workout. Is that kind of like part of being the 10th Planet? Do they work those into your warm-ups, or what are those things? Are they kind of just Eddie put together a warm-up drill system. Yeah. Okay. So by the way, I love it. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's a good system. But it's one of them things where, where you get like the purple belts, they don't want to do shrimping anymore, and they come and "Oh yeah, we done it." So as they progress, people have that attitude, they come in late, they want to miss warm-ups, they don't want to do shrimping. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I understand. But he put together a warm-up drill system. So it's A to H. Yeah. It goes, I've got to think now, it goes Granbys, Hail Marys, pressure passing, standing passing, quarter guard, butterfly, top half passes, and open guard. Yeah. Okay. So they're all separate drills. Okay. And amongst this one, let's say A, for instance, you've got your Granbys, there'd be 4 drills, like you'd have 4 drills in that section A. Yeah. And what it is just building things into your DNA. That's all it is. Just constant repetition all the time. Do you know what I mean? And we do them in our fundamental classes. We run them in our fundamental classes. So it's another thing, the reason why Eddie created that, it's got a lot of rubber guard, and a lot of our system involved in the warm-up drills is because we have to drill other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we can't just be in our bubble where, well, we only drill our warm-up drills or we only drill our 10th planet system. You know, there's this whole other world out there of other stuff, you know what I mean? Just, you know, other jiu-jitsu that we have to drill. So we don't want to get lost. He doesn't want the system to get lost.
Yeah.
So putting the system into drills. So you're going to come in, you're going to get your 10th planet system in these drills really quick. Like we'll just warm up drills, and then, you know, we can go on to, oh, we're going to work passing, or we're going to work leg locks for this month and stuff like that. Or else, you know, it can get forgotten, you know, and that was Eddie's thing. He doesn't want, oh, I don't want the rubber guard system to get forgotten.
Yeah. In my head, it works perfectly because, I don't know, it's almost like periodized. So like if you do like any kind of other like strength training or anything like that, you work towards something, you have a goal, and then you kind of work a workout from that. And I kind of, in my head, that works.
Yeah.
And I see it online, but you only see like, today we worked on H or whatever, and then you just see like the drills, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I like what they've done there, and I just kind of wanted to work out how he's systemized it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a good system. He tries to get every school to do it, build it into the program. Let's say, for instance, you've got your pressure passing. Like we do the pressure passing drills that's in the warm ups, and then we go into live drills after that, you know, which Eddie calls chest hair day. He calls them chest hair days, you know what I mean? You know, a bit of hair on your chest. So, you know, we're going to just loads of live drills. And we do loads of live drilling at 10th Planet, you know what I mean? I think it's, you know, even with the warm-up drills, you got to drill with a bit of resistance in it. Do you know what I mean? Flow drilling is okay. You know, there should be a little bit of resistance in, I think myself.
Yeah.
Man, I love live drilling. I love live drilling so much. If I get my team, they come in, could be a hot day. I know they've been working hard, and they're all sitting there. I can look around the room, and I might have been, you know, whatever I had drilling in my head that day. If I walk around, I see everyone's a bit deflated and things like that. I'm like, right, that's it. And our main classes are 2 hours. I go, right, that's it. Now we're live drilling. Everyone stand up. We're doing stand-up rounds. And then we're going to do passing rounds. And then we're going to do sparring for 50 minutes. And then we're going to do overtime rounds. And they were like, But, you know, as a coach, that's my job. I've got to push them. Yeah. If they come in all happy, I'll be, you know, might take it easy a bit on them. But yeah, they're tired.
They're all going to come in with a smile on their face now. They'll all be like that.
Yeah. They will when we get back. I know that. But, yeah, we do a lot of overtime rounds as well.
Yeah.
That's something, you know, I love. There's a lot of controversy over EBI overtime rounds. A lot of people don't like them. I love them. I absolutely love them. And we drill them all the time. So after class, it could be the last 10, 15 minutes of class. We're like, bang, now it's overtime rounds. We're just working off the back. Yeah. So then we just work, you know, working for the rear naked choke and things like that.
I liked that system as well. I like that it creates a definitive. We were talking about this the other day, and we were saying there is no perfect rule set. You can't get it right. No matter what you do, there's always going to be workarounds and people that are going to play the system and play the game.
Yeah.
And just trying to make it exciting is the...
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, Eddie's always said that this is not the perfect rule set, but this can be a start of something. Do you know what I mean? So he just brought something in and said, well, I'm not saying this is perfect, but if someone shows us something that's better and different, then we're going to do that. Yeah. But a lot of people just like, oh, they're rubbish. EBI, you can dominate someone for a whole match and then go to EBI and lose.
Yeah. But it's the same if you played football and you went to a penalty shootout. You could be dominating the whole game and still lose the penalty shootout at the end. Yeah.
You can have a football team that just all stands round by the goal, works defence, gets to the penalty shootout, and all they've been drilling is penalties.
Yeah.
They win the match. You know what I mean? It can happen all the time.
Yeah. You
know, but it's a lot of people look at it as, oh, they dominated the regulation rounds, but now they're in overtime and then they lost. But to me, it's two totally different matches.
Yeah.
You know I mean? If you lose, if you don't get a submission at regulation, don't even think about that no more. Now you're going into another match. It's totally different. Don't think, oh yeah, you can't afterwards go, yeah, but I dominated him. It doesn't matter. Now you're stepping in. You didn't get the position. Do you know what I mean? So now you're going into a shootout, and then so you better make sure you've been drilling this.
Because some of them are so exciting as well. Some of the overtimes have been like unreal. Like,
yeah, I love it. I love it. I get this. I get people say to me all the time, you know, oh yes, people dominate and then the EBI. You know what I mean? Some people just work in rear naked chokes and they're good at the EBI overtime rounds, but you should be good at that anyway. You know what I mean?
I really like TBI.
They still got to get there. They got quite a long time to get through to get there. I don't see anyone being able just being like, I'm just going to literally wait the entire time. It's not going to be like that.
No, 100%. I mean, look, if you can't submit the person in 10 minutes, shut up, and then you're going to overtime rounds. Yeah. Don't even worry about what happened there. You couldn't submit them in the 10 minutes. Now there's going to be a winner. Do you know what I mean? Exactly I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, they want to get invited back. You know, it's not a given, you know, that you get to go.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
And it was weird because I think there was a Tough Invitational run by Lee Johnson. I think he was one of the first comps that done overtime rounds. And I had a couple of my students on now. And I remember there was a couple of black belts. I'm not going to say no names or nothing like that. There was a couple of black belts who lost. I think they maybe dominated in the match and then lost on overtime. Yeah. And they're in the back. They're in the back of the change rooms and they're complaining, going, well, I wasn't ready for the overtime. I never drilled overtime rounds. You're like what? Yeah. You're a black belt. What are you talking about? You don't drill back escapes. Oh, people don't usually take my back. Like, what? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? You can't be a coach and be, oh, yeah, you know, people don't take my back. But then you should be letting them take your back. You know?
Yeah.
When I'm drilling, I spar, unless I've got a bad injury, I will spar every single class, you know, and I'm not just going to dominate everyone. You know, I'm going to put myself in bad positions all the time. You know, 100% I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? That's how we learn. That's how we progress. Yeah. I hate coaching. You know, I'll never get tapped. And, you know, never takes my back. You're like, what are you talking about?
We were chatting to Ash Williams and he's saying, like, I was talking to him about, like, how do you get better in the positions that you're not your favourite, you know, because, you know, like I sometimes find myself, right, well, I'm okay against that guy, he's better than me, but I'm okay in this position. If I get to that there, then, you know, I'm all right, rather than trying to practice what I'm bad. And he's like, well, I go into the gym, I see who's there, and I know that guy's really good on top, so I'll pull guard. Like, I know that guy's got a great guard, I'll try and pass it. So I go for my weakest things against their strongest things, try and get better, and just keep trying to, like, practice on the weaker side of it.
Yeah, 100%. You should always be doing things like that. Always work on your recovery and your defense. When you get confident, escaping positions, it builds confidence. Because sometimes you could be in a competition and then you might be scared to go for the submission in case you lose your position. Yeah. And then, now he's on top of me. But when you're confident in recovery and your confidence escapes, then that builds your confidence, and then you just go for submissions. You might, if they escape, it doesn't matter because, you know, I can recover. I'm confident in recovering from a position. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you know, sometimes at open mat, I've got this big geezer coming in. Could be a wrestler smashing me to pieces. I'm in a dominant position, and I've got Kimura. I'll look at the clock, and I'll be like, man, there's 5 minutes left. I go for this Kimura, and I foul. He's going to get back on top. He's going to smash me, but, you know, 100% I'm going to go for the submission. I don't care if he's back on top. You know what I mean? And now it's my job to be good at recovery. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. But sometimes it happens. You're like, oh man. Or even if I submit him, I've got another 5 minutes. I'm trying to rip my head off. I might just sit here for a couple more minutes. I might just warm this Kimura up a bit.
Sometimes you look over, don't you? You look over in the gym and someone's like that, and they're like, you're like, I see you. You're just holding that there.
The good one is when you submit them, you might submit them a couple of times, and as you're rolling with them, you see them look at the clock, and there's 8 minutes left, and they're like, oh, God. When their soul just sink into the bits.
And you go, yes.
Take it easy a little bit. Take it easy a little bit, don't worry.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But it's good, man. Are you on, like, getting back to the gym? Are you prepared? You've got plans put in place?
I don't know, to be honest. We've got our head coach and the owner of the gym. I'm sure he's got some plans in place at the moment. I think there's talks of maybe doing like bubble classes, like smaller groups of people that have to train. You pick a certain group of people and you have to train with them and them only, limiting the amount of people in the class so you've got space between you. But it's also up in the air at the moment, so I really don't know.
I hope that that's the case. Like, you know, like before this, and when I was like right at the beginning, I was thinking, right, maybe, like, obviously it's not going to be back to normal size classes. Obviously things are going to be different. You know, maybe it'll just mean the time frames of class, like the times you can train, you've got allotted time slots maybe, and you know, it's got to be over a wider time period, you know, of the day. And be like small groups can come in for, you've got that hour slot for your group of 4 or 5, whatever it is like possible to do. And then it's just going to be a case that'd be brilliant. You've got your time slot, you can go in every day and do, you know, do what you want, or your stuff within your like little group or whatever. But then it's going to be hard to like work out who goes with who, like what, you know, because everyone's going to want to train with particular people around their level. And so how do you know, get your white belts back into training to, you know, because you don't want to have them just with white belts, or how are we going to do that to like, you know, get them feeling like they're doing something rather than going, we don't know anything, what are we supposed to be doing? And so it's going to be really hard, I think, you know, because there's different people who've got different things they want to do with the training. And, you know, have you thought about that? Is that kind of where you guys think it's going to go? Because I think that's the only option to start with.
Yeah, it's a tough one. We're sort of starting next week. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to put everything in place. You know, we're a mixed martial arts gym, so I have to think of the other disciplines as well. I think they're more easier, to be honest. And the jiu-jitsu is probably the tougher one. You know, but me personally, I would like, you know, like the trusted partners and stuff like that, because I have a lot of students that they live together. So, you know, they can just come in and train. But yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one to work out, because obviously you've got to make people feel safe, and obviously we're getting the cleaning stations all set up and that. The owner, I manage the gym. I've got the owner, Cliff Bura. He lives in Spain, and you know, we're talking to each other constantly. You know, he's talking about getting the grappling dummies in and stuff like that. And you know, a lot of the main students, they're like, oh, grappling dummies. You know what I mean? But I think it's a tough one. I think a lot of the main people, they want to come in and just start rolling again. You know, what I mean? It's a tough one. You know,
there's a place for that. If, like, you know, if people are happy, and you know, there might be some sort of waiver or something. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're up by the docks. I might just chuck them outside by the river. Just go take some mats and just go out there.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want. I'll be out there in 5 minutes. Don't worry. With a mask, and I'll have to wear a disguise. But,
man, there's got to be something, and especially when we look over at the States, and you know, there's we were chatting to Elizabeth Clay last week, and she's literally moved to another state where they're training, like, and so she's training full time. She's like, you know, there's competitions coming on. She's like, boom, like, I've just moved out so I can train. And
see, that's a tough one as well, because you know, we have a big competition team, and we had a team getting ready for the ADCC trials, which I think is November. So it's like, man, we need to get back into training. And you've got other countries that are training, so it's like, man, you know, other countries in Europe, they're in front of us, so they're getting their training in advance. And for a coach, that can mess you up a little bit. You're like, oh, they're training, we're not training. We've got, you know what I mean? So that's a tough one. Do you know what I mean?
The ADCC trials will still go ahead in November.
I don't know. They posted something up, but
I bet you they will. I bet you they will.
I think they will.
I
can't remember what country it's in, where they're being held. I forgot what country it's in. They might even just move it. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we'll just put it in this country because it can go ahead. Do you know what I mean?
I bet they would, 100%, because that's the sort of organisation. It's like, well, ADCC 2021, that's going to happen. Like then that's not going to go away. So wherever it is, if you can get there and you want to be in it, then you get there and be in it. I think that's how they'll kind of put it. They maybe the month might change slightly. They might or add in another thing for accommodate other people. But again, still they still want the mix for like the Europe as such in like you know, one area, don't they? So it's going to be hard, I think. Yeah,
it will be tough, and it's tough to go back into training and tell your main team like, oh, you got to keep distance and stuff like that. You know, they'd probably just pick me up and throw me in the river, throw me in the dock. Just go, yeah.
There's your grappling dummy. Off you go for your ADCC trial training.
If
But
you
yeah,
come out of that, right? Coronavirus won't be able to touch you, mate, will it? If you go.
No, I spent half hour in the dock, mate. That's it. I mean, I mean, even with ourselves, I mean, we grapple around so many infections and stuff anyway. So, you know, you'd think that our immune system would be better than the average, you know what I mean, the average people anyway, you know what I mean? But
it's so unknown though, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah.
I get more and more like feel almost like it's have we been had here, like somehow, like with some of the stuff that goes on, I just feel like, you know, we want to do everything right, and you know with the gym and stuff, obviously being that close contact and enclosed environment, all the stuff, it's like probably one of the worst things you could do if this is a super contagious thing that's happening, you know. But then on the other side of me, it's like, well, hang on a minute, you look at these people like all over the place that's not doing anything. The things are going down. Is this even the stats and all that? I don't want to be conspiracy about it, but you kind of think, look, if you get some guys and different groups of people training in different ways at separate times, I mean, that can't be worse than going on a tube train or public transport.
Yeah, I think once we get the doors open, you know, everything will just fall into place. Do you know what I mean? So
that's what I hope. What I don't want is to see anything changing just because of the situation that we're in now. Like things we have to do things completely differently.
Not long term. Don't mind going, okay, like this for a month.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, then we need to get back, because also, like, you know, like yourself running stuff with people, small businesses. You know, our head coach Laurie, you know, like it's a business he runs. It's you know, reliant on providing a service for people, and he's got rent to pay and all that stuff.
Well, we've been struggling. We had no funding. We had nothing from this at all. Right. And we're a kick organisation. Right. So
oh man,
we're like a non-profit organisation. Like we pay the staff, and then everything else we get from that goes into projects that we do for the community. Yeah. So we was doing a lot of anti-bullying programs, and we was doing a lot of like mental health programs and anti-knife programs, and just before we broke up, I think it was about 2 months before that, we're just a lot of this work comes from Cliff, the owner. Mm-hmm. We'd become a prescription in the local doctors around in Newham.
Oh, amazing.
In certain cases of like mental health and depression, they would get 3 months membership, and they'd come and train with us. Do you know what I mean? Just trying to explain that, you know, the importance of training and, you know, just keeping fit, and then being in that friendly, as you know yourself, that family environment, how good it makes you feel. So yeah, we worked hard to get that. We had all doctors coming down the gym, looking at the facilities, and, you know, we explained, we're going to put them through these circuits, and you know what I mean. So we just sorted that out. So yeah, we're just becoming like a prescription for these local GPs, and you know, then this happened. So man, we was doing some really good things, and then this happened. So we can't wait to get back to that as well, just like helping the community out and things like that.
Yeah,
and it's nice because
that's another interesting aspect,
you know what I mean? So jiu-jitsu, was doing the jiu-jitsu, but it's more than that, you know what I mean? So you've got your team, your jiu-jitsu team, and your diesel gym team, and then to be honest, it was all about helping the community as well, you know what I mean? The jiu-jitsu and the coaching is one thing, and that's my passion and my life, but you know, you want to go a little bit further. You think, if I can help other people, you know what I mean? Let's do what we can, you know what I mean? Do the best we can to help other people, especially with the mental health and stuff like that. And then you got this ain't good for no one. Do you know what I mean?
But that's a really interesting point, and that's another thing that's kind of our gyms, especially for the jiu-jitsu community as well. Like sometimes this is people's outlets, and by not having that, people have no longer got that outlet. It must be really tough. Like some people, you know, I'm lucky, you know, I'm in a house, I'm with my wife, you know, I've got a back garden. It's nice, you know, I'm okay. But there are other people out there that are probably really struggling right now and need and want their gym back open.
Yeah, I mean, I've got, like I said before, I've got, you know, some students who phone me up, and we could be on the phone for hours, and they just realise what a big part of the gym was in their life, you know, it was their escape, do you know what I mean? And just things like that. Yeah, some people are not taking it so great. And, you know, as a coach, it's my job to always be there for them. Do you know what I mean? They're my family. So, you know, and the mad thing about being a coach is and this was a big thing for me, it was quite a shock for me, is when I went into lockdown, it was like, I had some time to think about myself for a second, because a lot of the time, as a coach, you don't do that. You're thinking about your team, and then obviously I come home and I think about my family. But, you know, when you're trying to build a team up, and, you know, obviously you have people with problems, so you're trying to help everyone. So you basically, you put yourself second all the time, and you put the team and everything first. And then when that's taken away, I just want to go around and helping people, and then like, no one needs help. I've got to do something for myself. I'm like, what do I want to do? You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'll blow dust up your PlayStation or something. I don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough one. You know, I'm still sitting there studying a lot, and obviously doing the online classes. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. You know, not having that sparring or not helping the team, that really threw me back a little bit. I was like, I think of myself. I'm like, I'm not used to it. You know what I mean?
There is some positives towards that, though. You can kind of do a bit of reflecting. It's been quite nice. It's nice to spend a bit more time with your family, obviously.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Things like that. Like, you can't. There are positives to it, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
One thing, it's been nice to have a little step back, because you know, I've been studying a lot of wrestling and stuff like that, and you know what I mean, and just working things out. Oh, we've been going wrong here. I want to start adding all this into the game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, so that's been really helpful. That's been really useful. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's almost been like a little reset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is nice. It's been at that point now, isn't it, where I just want to get back. I've had my reset now.
100%. But I keep telling a lot of my students and a lot of my friends is, before we split up, a lot of them wanted to go full time, and they'd complain about their job. Oh, I hate my job, and blah 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 blah. So a lot of them, they're sitting at home, they're doing that. And I'm like, what are you doing? Are you waiting to go back to your crappy job that you don't like, or you know what I mean? To use this time to study, maybe do something else, maybe become a PT. You've got a time where you've been pulled out of this system. Yeah. Now you've got a time where you can put your life in a totally different direction. Do you know what I mean? You can't waste this time, because you guarantee that next week they go, oh, you got to go back to work. And be going, oh, back in my bloody crappy job again.
And you'll be like, this never happened.
To change, you know what I mean? And I think some things like this, I mean, obviously it's bad what's going on with a lot of people, but, you know, if you're at home or isolating, you know, this is an opportunity to, if you're not happy in the direction your life's going or with your job or whatever, this is an opportunity to reset and to, you know, to do something else, to change, totally change direction. Do you know what I mean? Because that is tough. Because I was a building site manager for 20 odd years. I was a building site manager. And then when we moved location from the gym, I thought, right, you know, for me to take the team as far as I want to take them, I have to be a full-time coach. You know, I have to be at the gym all day, every day. So I left my job, and I had a pretty good job. You know, the money was good. I had the van, and I had the laptops and the phones and everything like that. And then when I tell people, say, yeah, I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to be coaching. I mean, you know, it's not, obviously there's a lot of money in coaching and stuff like that, but people are like, you're crazy. You've got kids. You know what I mean? You got this. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but I'm not happy. You know what I mean? I have to do what makes me happy, because it's going to make me a better person. Do you know what I mean? There's more to life than people are like, yeah, but you've got your pension with the company. I'm like, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's ingrained in us. It's ingrained in us from an early age, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I believe.
You do that. And you are, like Ash should say the same, and you're meant to be unhappy. And you work 9 to 5, and that is how you do it.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not allowed to be happy. No one else is.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. There's this straight line that you've got to follow. And when you go like this, everyone's looking at you going, what are you doing?
Yeah. Here where we're all miserable.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm the one that goes, so you're crazy. I said, I'm not crazy, you're crazy. But even when I done the switch over to be a full-time coach, it was, I knew it was the right thing. You know, it's all that I wanted. And, but even then, because like what you're saying, it's drilled into you, even then you're doubting yourself, like, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
I should be going to work every day. Am I really doing the right thing?
Yeah.
But, you know, deep in your heart, you know.
You got support. You have support from your wife, your family, and you know, and students and other you know, friends and stuff like that. And people, you got the support for it. Then, you know, like you say, you've been doing it now, and you know, you wouldn't change it. But at the same time, like I always think, you can go back and be a site manager.
Yeah.
You know, that's not gonna go anywhere. You've got to give something a chance. If you've got a dream or something that you really want to do, you've got to give it a shot. And it's never going to be the right. So it's like having a baby.
Yeah.
It's never 100% the right circumstances for everything to fall into place and go right. Now's the perfect time. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky. You know, my wife Lauren, she's very supportive. Do you know what I mean? And there's always the worry about, oh yeah, you got bills to pay. So if it doesn't work out, but you've got to take them chances. Do you know what I mean? You've got to take them chances. Just little things like, you know, I can get up and take my kids to school and stuff like that. It just means so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so just them little things that, you know, you can lose in life, you know what I mean? So I spend a little bit more time with my kids, even though they think I'm like a nerd. They hate what I do. They go, jiu-jitsu, Dad. They think I'm a nerd.
But now,
geeky, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But I go, look at this. Look what I've done here. Look at this. I won this. They're not interested. They're more embarrassed than anything. You know? But I keep telling my students, listen, don't worry about the kids. It's your grandkids. Your grandkids are the ones. They're the ones who are going to look up to you and go, yeah, granddad's really good.
Yeah, that's it.
Look at these belts. Look, yeah, I love granddad. So it's the grandkids. You've got to have good stories to tell the grandkids. That's what you know what I mean? Your grandkids told me about me being on a building site. You know, oh, I've done that building over there. They won't even come around my house. You know what I mean? You've got good stories to tell the grandkids. That's it. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah.
Stick him in at home.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, man. Is there any shout outs? Anyone you want to do some shout outs for? Any sponsors or anything that you want to mention?
No, just shout out to all my 10th Planet London team, my family. We'll be back soon, you know, all the 10th Planet across the world. And hopefully we'll get the open mats back up soon so everyone can come down and train with us.
You'll see us down there. Me and Nick are doing travelling. So
I better see you stood down there. You better come down here. We'll get some rounding. But no, man, listen, you know, man, I just wish everyone well. And let's get back as quick as we can.
Awesome. Jamie, you've been an absolute pleasure, man. It's been really good. Awesome. Thank you, mate.
You're welcome, man.
Bruce.